Hello and welcome to another video. Today I made a family tree for Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy. As you can see, today is a big family tree. Look how many people. There's 117 people here, so the video is going to be a little long. This is Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy here, where her birth name was Rose Elizabeth Fitzgerald, born July 22nd, 1890 in Boston, Massachusetts, died January 22nd, 1995 in Barnstable, Massachusetts, at the age of 104. That's amazing. Not only did she live so long, but also her mother also almost lived 100. Her parents were John Francis Fitzgerald and Mary Josephine Hannon. John was born February 11th, 1863 in Boston, Massachusetts, and died October 2nd, 1950, also in Boston, Massachusetts, at the age of 87. Mary was born October 31st, 1865 in Acton, Massachusetts, and died, like I mentioned before, she almost lived to 100. She died on August 8th, 1964 in Boston, Massachusetts, at the age of 98. Um. Uh. Ah. Sorry about that. Rose's paternal grandparents were Thomas Fitzgerald and Rosanna Cox. Thomas was born December 4th, 1823, in County Limerick, Ireland, and died May 19th, 1885, in Boston, Massachusetts, at the age of 61. Rosanna was born in 1836, also in County Fermanagh, Northern Ireland, and died March 11th, 1879, in Boston, Massachusetts, at the age of 42 or 43. Uh, Rose's maternal grandparents were Michael Hannon and Mary Fitzgerald. If you're wondering if Mary and Thomas Fitzgerald are related, the answer is yes, they are cousins, meaning that Mary and John Fitzgerald are second cousins. Anyway, Michael was born September 30th, 1832, in County Limerick, Ireland, and died January 26th, 1900, in Acton, Massachusetts, at the age of 67. Mary was born May 9th, 1832, in County Limerick, Ireland, and died July 1st, 1904, in Concord, Massachusetts, at the age of 72. Rose had five younger siblings. One, two, three, four, five. Five. Mary Agnes Fitzgerald, born November 13th, 1892, in Roxbury, Massachusetts, and died September 18th, 1936, in Boston, Massachusetts, at the age of 43. Thomas Acton Fitzgerald, born April 19th, 1895, in Boston, Massachusetts, died September 7th, 1968, also in Boston, Massachusetts, at the age of 73. John Francis Fitzgerald Jr., born December 7th, 1898, in Boston, Massachusetts, died March 28th, 1979, in Boston, Massachusetts, at the age of 80. Eunice Fitzgerald, born January 26th, 1900, in Concord, Massachusetts, and died September 5th, 1923, in Boston, Massachusetts, at the age of 23. She was the youngest die of the siblings. Finally, Frederick Harold Fitzgerald, born December 3rd, 1904, in Boston, Massachusetts, died February 8th, 1935, in Brookline, Massachusetts, at the age of 30. Rose married Joseph Patrick Kennedy Sr. He was born September 6th, 1888, in Boston, Massachusetts, and died November 18th, 1969, in Barnstable, Massachusetts, at the age of 81. Together they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 children. Uh, Come on. Joseph Jr., born July 25th, 1915, in Hull, Massachusetts, and died August 12th, 1944, in Suffolk, United Kingdom, at the age of 29. Both he and his brother-in-law, right over here, died in a plane crash together in Suffolk, England, on August 12th, 1944. And then his sister would also die in a plane crash, but a few years later. Joseph was never married. John, born May 29th, 1917 in Brookline, Massachusetts, died November 22nd, 1963 in Dallas, Texas at the age of 46. John was assassinated and he was the President of the United States. And fun fact, John F. Kennedy is the only president to be outlived by his grandmother, uh, uh, Mary Josephine Hammond. She died in 1964 and he was assassinated in 1963 and he died. So he married Jacqueline Lee Bouvier, or I think that's a French last name, so probably Bouvier or something like that. And together they had four children: Arabella, Caroline, John, and Patrick. Arabella and Patrick died as babies. Caroline is the only one still alive, and John died in a plane crash. Caroline married Edwin Schlossberg and had three children together when her grandmother was still alive: Rose, Tatiana, and Jack. Tatiana sadly died last year, or maybe it was this year. But the point is, she died at the young age of 30, in her early 30s, from leukemia. Um, Rosemary, born September 13th, 1918 in Brookline, Massachusetts, died January 7th, 2005 in Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin at the age of 86. There's a tragic story about Rosemary. She, it's Rosemary, but she had the nickname Rosemary. So, I'm not gonna explain the whole thing, but she had some kind of brain problem. Like, she would yell a lot, scream a lot. Should be very negative, and then her father thought she had a brain disorder or something, and then no, I'm not gonna say what happened next. That was a very tragic story. Just because of that story, she was never married and she never had children. Next is Kathleen Agnes. She was the sister mentioned before, born February 20th, 1920 in Brookline, Massachusetts, died May 13th, 1948 in Saint Basile, France at the age of 28. She was the one to die in the plane crash in 1948, and her husband, William Cavendish, Marquis of Hartington, died with her oldest brother Joseph in that plane crash in 1944. They were married for only a couple of months. They did not have children. Next is Eunice Mary. She was born July 10th, 1921 in Brookline, Massachusetts. Died August 11th, 2009 in Barnstable, Massachusetts at the age of 88. She was probably the most famous sister of John F. Kennedy and Robert F. Kennedy, since she married Sergeant Shriver, and he was a running mate. He was a vice presidential candidate somewhere in the 1970s, I think, or 1968. I don't know exactly, but he was a running mate for someone. Together they had one, two, three, four, five children: Bobby, Maria, Timothy, Mark, and Anthony. Bobby wasn't married. Maria married Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yes, the Arnold Schwarzenegger. You can go see my Arnold Schwarzenegger family tree video, and you can see he was married to Maria Shriver, and this is the exact same person. Together they had more than three children together, but these are the three children they had when Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy was still alive: Catherine, Christina, and Patrick. Timothy married Linda Potter and had four children together: Sophia, Timothy, Samuel, and Kathleen. I'm only showing the children that were alive when Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy was still alive, and I'm doing it for everybody in the family tree. Next is Mark, and he married Jeannie Rip. They did not have children yet. Anthony married Alina Mojica and had two daughters together: Eunice and Francesca. Next up is Patricia. She was born May 6th, 1924 in Brookline, Massachusetts. Died September 17th, 2006 in New York City in New York at the age of 82. She married and then divorced Peter Lawford. Together they had four children: Christopher, Sydney, Victoria, and Robin. Christopher married Jeannie Olson and had two children together: David and Savannah. Sidney married James Peter McKelvey, and together they had four sons: James, Christopher, Patrick, and Anthony. Victoria married Robert Beebe Pender or Beebe, and they had three daughters together: Alexandra, Caroline, and Victoria. And Robin wasn't married. Next is one of the most famous children of Rose and Joseph Kennedy, and the most famous brother of John F. Kennedy, Robert Francis, born November 20th, 1925, in Brookline, Massachusetts, died June 6th, 1968, in Los Angeles, California, at the age of 42. Just like John, he was also assassinated, and he was actually campaigning or getting campaigned for president in 1968. And if he wasn't assassinated, he might have become president of the United States, maybe, possibly. But he died, unfortunately. He was assassinated. And so he married Ethel Cake. Let's just call it Cake because I don't know how to pronounce that. Together they had a lot of children. There was Kathleen, Joseph, Robert Jr., who the Kennedys are Democrats or were Democrats, but RFK Jr. is a Trump supporter, so he's a Republican. So congrats, I'm also a Trump supporter. There was also David, Mary, Michael, Mary, Carey, Christopher, Matthew, Douglas, and Rory. That's a weird name, Rory. Kathleen married David Townsend, and they had four daughters together: Megan, Mavie, Rose, and Carrie. Joseph was married twice. First, he married Sheila Roch, and had two sons together, Matthew and Joseph. And then they divorced, and Joseph married Anne Kelly, but did not have children together yet. RFK Jr. Was also married twice. First, he married Emily Black and had two children together, Robert and Kathleen. And then they divorced, and RFK married Mary Richardson. And next is David. He was never married because he died. Mary wasn't married yet. And Michael married Victoria Gifford and had three children together: Michael, Kyle, and Rory. Next is Mary Carey. She married Andrew Cuomo, but did not have children together yet. Christopher married Sheila Sinclair Burner and had three children together: Catherine, Christopher, and Sarah. Matthew married Victoria Strauss and had two children together: Matthew and Caroline. Douglas and Rory weren't married yet. So next up is Jean Ann. She was born February 20th, 1928, exactly 8 years after her sister Kathleen. They were both born February 20th. She was born in Boston, Massachusetts, and died June 17th, 2020, in Manhattan, New York, at the age of 92. The very first sibling to die was Joseph Kennedy Jr. in 1944, and Jean was the last to die in 2020. So that's about 76 years of difference of span, whatever you say. Jean married Stephen Edward Smith and had two sons, Stephen and William. And then finally, the youngest child of Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy was Edward Moore, nicknamed Ted. He was born February 22nd, 1932, in Dorchester, Massachusetts, and died August 25th, 2009, in Barnstable, Massachusetts, at the age of 77. Both he and his sister Patricia, or was it Eunice? Yeah, he and his sister Eunice died in the exact same month of the exact same year, which was August of 2009. She died on August 11th, and he died on August 25th, exactly 2 weeks after her. He was married twice. First, he married Joanne Bennett and had three children together: Kara, Edward, and Patrick. Kara married Michael Allen and had a daughter together named Grace. Edward married Kiki Gershman and had a daughter together named Kylie. And then Patrick wasn't married yet. And then after Ted and Joanne divorced, Ted married Victoria Reggie. So finally, that's the whole family tree of Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy. Let me know in the comments whose family tree you'd like to see in the future. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and on the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. And go check out my Arnold Schwarzenegger family tree and all of my other family trees if you're interested. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.